Okay, good afternoon, everyone. I will share screen. This is our topic today. So we continue Unit 10, Part 2, how to make a brochure. For the reading skill, I will read text about how to make a brochure. So the title is Making a Brochure. First, know your purpose before you start. A brochure is a valuable, tangible piece of marketing material that is ultimately used to sell. Unlike a website, you have a limited amount of space on which to provide information. When writing a brochure, be specific with what you are selling. There are some points that you have to take consideration. First, get specific and choose your city or tourism attraction. Second point, don't try to cover too many topics in one brochure. While a brochure can be used to highlight your overall offerings, it is often good to have multiple brochures. You should have a brochure for each individual product or service. And the third point, instead of offering a lot of broad information, you want your brochure to focus on one topic. Perhaps you write one brochure on only kitchens. Get specific to one room so you can explain every detail from the type of tile you offer to the colors of the cabinet handles. Okay, next. The second point, put readers first. It means when thinking of how to design a brochure, keep the end purpose in mind. Is this a brochure that's going to be posted out in a response to requests made on a website? Is it a giveaway at an exhibition or a leave behind brochure? When someone opens it, what will it say to them? Design for that person, not for yourself. Jadi setelah yang pertama tadi kita mengetahui ya purpose atau tujuan membuat brosur. Yang kedua kita harus melihat siapa yang membaca ya. So you have to concern atau perhatikan the readers. Kemudian put yourself in your reader's shoes. Ini artinya it means that pretend you have come across your own brochure. When looking at the front, ask yourself what kind of information you would want to find inside. Write down and answer any question you may have. You can use this in your brochure. And then the next point, identify your target audience. So it is very important, yeah, because you want to think about where people will pick up this brochure. Who these people are? Are you writing your brochure to an individual consumer who is looking for a product, service, or information? So put readers first, itu berarti you have to find who is your target audience. And then the third point, speak directly to your readers. Address the reader as you to establish a relationship with the reader. Making your copy personal creates a relationship between you and your customer. So it means talking directly to the reader as an intelligent person will help to keep your potential customer interested. And then you have to consider that your brochure should begin and end with your customer before you get into the meat of your brochure explaining all the great things you offer. You should entice your customer by answering question and overcoming potential objection. Jadi, alangkah lebih baik jika kita tidak hanya memberi brosur ya pada seseorang, tapi juga perlu menjelaskan ya, speak directly to your readers. And then you can focus your content on promoting ya. And then you have to make aim to answer the question of how your customer will benefit from your product or service. Jadi kita juga harus memikirkan apakah customer itu akan take benefit ya, take advantage, apa bisa mengambil manfaat atau keuntungan dari membaca brosur atau produk yang kita tawarkan. The fourth point, brainstorm ideas for content. So you have to break out the layout paths and try drawing and sketching ideas to start with. Share all your ideas among everybody rather than taking a brief away for 2 weeks and then presenting 3 concepts to see which one the client hates the least. Jadi kita juga perlu break out the layout paths ya. Kita harus membuat ide-ide yang kita masukkan ke dalam brosur itu menjelaskan konten ya. Harus ada semacam gambaran ya, apa yang akan kita jelaskan atau apa yang akan kita promosikan. And then the fifth point, setting up a layout. So you have to choose a layout because brochures come in many styles and layout. The most common is the three-fold brochure. However, you should free to choose a different layout depending on the information you are providing. So now that you have a topic narrowed down, you can begin writing copy. Pay attention to how many sections you need. Create an outline to help you discover how much room you'll need. In a typical 3-fold brochure, a piece of landscape paper is divided into 6 sections. Section 2, 3, and 4 are your inside section and usually contain the most valuable information. Section 2 is the inside flap and usually contains broad information with questions and answers. This information compels the readers to believe that the product will be the answer to any problems the reader has. Section 3 and 4 typically expand and go deeper. So this section explains the information, affirming the reader that solution is contained within your brochure. Okay, so this is the example or brochure template. So the first example, you can look in the first picture. I would like to vacation here because apa? Coba isinya tentang the reason. The first reason atau reason 1 on why I would like to vacation here. And then reason 2 on why I would like to vacation here and so on. Jadi ada beberapa reason, alasan kenapa kita harus mengunjungi tempat tersebut. And then you can make a brochure like this. The second example is fun things to do. Itu apa saja? You can make a list, membuat daftarnya. Kemudian travel brochure. You can mention the name of place. And ya, contohnya seperti ini ya, travel brochure. Oke, ini yang kemarin kita buat sebagai contoh ya. So, visit Okinawa, Japan. Official travel and tourism information produced by OCVB. So, discover a distinct island culture born of subtropical sun, white sand, yeah, and then mangrove jungles and the age of the Ryukyu kings. So Japan's southernmost prefecture, Okinawa is a chain of islands with its own history as an independent kingdom and a distinctly subtropical climate, as well as the birthplace of karate. Explore the ruins and restored castles of the Ryukyu kings and visit magnificent beaches and coastlines with an amazing array of coral and undersea life. Come for whale watching and dragon boat races, rare flora and fauna, and an island mindset that makes you forget the clock and follow the sun. Yeah, this is the example of brochure. And then how to get there from mainland Japan. Most flights to Okinawa's Naha Airport depart from Tokyo or Osaka. If you are coming from China, South Korea, Singapore, Taiwan, or Hong Kong, there are direct international flights to Okinawa. There are frequent flights from Tokyo to Naha on Okinawa's main islands every day, as well as direct flights to the outlying island of Ishigaki. There are also seasonal direct flights to Miyako Island. You can also catch connecting flights to the outlying islands of Miyako, Ishigaki, Yonaguni, and Kome from Naha Airport. The best way to get around Okinawa is by rental car or by bicycle or scooter in some areas. If you prefer public transportation, there is a monorail running from Naha Airport through Naha to the old capital of Shuri. There is also a comprehensive bus service on the main island and ferry services run between nearby islands. Okay, for the speaking skills, we will have group presentation. So for those whose group were chosen to present about Japanese tourism and culture, choose a specific city or culture and present it to the class. So your group act as ambassador of the city or culture, so provide the appropriate details. If you were to choose a city, you need to provide the following details such as location, history and fact, how to get there, and what to do. Meanwhile, if you were to choose a culture, you need to provide the following details such as where the culture comes from, history, purpose, process, and value. Okay, this is the reference. I think that's all. Thank you very much. And now I will give the opportunity for group 5. Are you ready for the presentation? Group 5 sudah siap? I will share screen ya. So this is from group 5. Oke, silakan. Ada perwakilan dari group 5. Yes, Sydney, maybe you can start.
Yes, ma'am. Hello, everyone. My name is Sydney, and I'm here as a moderator for our group presentation. Before that, let me introduce myself. I'm Sydney. My friends Ali Hassan and Novan.
Yes, you can start.
Okay, next is the history of Hanami, Heian period 794 until 1185. Ohanami, discovered in the Nara period 710 until 794, liked by the elites of the government. At the time, the word Ohanami refers to plum blossoms and introduced by the Chinese people. But at the Heian period, 794 until 1185, the elites started to see Ohanami as cherry blossoms and as the indicator of spring. Meanwhile, the peasant has different way in understanding Ohanami. For the peasant, it means more spiritually as the time for wishing a good harvest. Next, Kamakura period, 1185 until 1333. In this period, Ohanami spread to the samurai classes due to the first military government. Moving to the Sengoku era, samurai started to enjoying sakura viewing outside, and it viewed from the two major Ohanami, Yoshino and Daigo festival at the time. This is the starting point of what actually Ohanami is in today's era. And the last is Edo period, 1603 until 1868. Edo period, the last era of samurais, become a peaceful time after the Sengoku era. Cherry blossoms viewing became a common event that everyone can enjoy. In this time, there were a lot of improvement in making a better environment for sakura trees. Other than that, the people protect the sakura from being damaged by the West.
Next, the purpose of Hanami. Hanami, called as flower viewing in English, has a purpose to enjoy the moment when the sakura tree, or in English called as cherry blossom, are in bloom. Besides that, farmers usually make offering under the cherry blossom tree in the hope of getting a great harvest, because the cherry tree is believed as the place of the god. The process of Hanami. Hanami is done by having a picnic under the sakura tree with their family or closest people. We must not mimic the sakura tree. We are actually in Hanami. There is no specific process, but there's some rules that we must not mimic the sakura tree. And we are also forbidden to make noise or disturb the others who are also enjoying the sakura flower in bloom. And the most important thing is not to pollute or damage the environment where we enjoy. When we enjoy the sakura flower bloom.
The value of Hanami. On a deeper level, many Japanese associate with the blossom with life itself, beautiful, fragile, and ephemeral. Life, much like the blossoms, must be cherished and celebrated. In acknowledgement that neither will last forever, there is a tinge of sadness to the appreciation of the blossoms, yet overwhelming it's a celebration of renewal or of new life and the year to come. That's all from our group. Thank you for listening. I hope you understand what we were presenting. Thank you.
Okay. So that's all from group 5. So group 5 make presentation about a brochure about the culture ya ini. Refers to the culture of Japanese people. Okay. How about the other group? So I will check the module. Selain grup 5, ada yang mau presentasi? Okay, so you can look at the picture in the module. So, kalau tadi kita melihat sampel brochure template ini ya, outside part, and then di sini ada sampel brochure template inner part. So it consists of location, history, and recreation. And for the location, actually this is a summary of the location, including highlights of important places, information on the geography, climate, and overall weather condition, arts, and culture. And then about the history, we look at the summary about the history of the location, information on historic sites and landmarks. And then for the recreation, it is about a summary about the recreation and outdoor activities of the location. Okay, and then so for the next supplementary, so you can try to make comparison and contrast text. So actually in writing skill, we have comparison and contrast text. So when we read an article on newspaper, we often realize that one newspaper reported differently than the other. We know it is different because we are comparing and contrasting. A compare and contrast is one kind of writing skill students need to master because sometimes you will face the different source, different story, but they are have similar topic. By mastering these skills, you will make yourself easier when you come to the library and finding sources for your paper, but have similar topic and different short story. What is comparison and contrast? So actually, comparison and contrast is the fundamental skills students need to know, especially in writing techniques. Comparison and contrast are ways of looking at the object and thinking about how the object written are alike and different. Jadi kalau alike itu berarti comparison, kalau different berarti contrast, ya. And then when we compare, we find the similarities of the object. While when we contrast, we see the differences of the object. Jadi kalau similarity berarti kita membandingkan, comparison itu berarti kita melihat similarity, tapi kalau contrast, we look at the differences of the object. So basically, comparison is trying to look out either similarities, differences, or both similarities and differences. On the other hand, a contrast only look for differences. You can do it by finding sources and try to locate the similarities or differences or both of them. The best sources for applying this skill are from newspaper and article journal. So this is the comparison and contrast. Make a point or serve a purpose. Often such essays do one of the following. So you have to clarify something unknown or not well understood and then lead to the fresh insight or new way of viewing something. Bring one or both of the subject into sharper focus and then show that one subject is better than the other. Okay, I think you can read the rest of the supplementary material. So for the next meeting, we will continue our discussion about comparison and contrast. Yeah. Okay, any question?